A more perfect night we could not ask for. This NPSL matchup between the Buffalo Stallions and Ambassadors FC Ohio. Buffalo wanting to finish their season with a victory, and the Ambassadors looking for a victory to finish second in this Great Lakes Conference. Hello again, everyone. I'm Tony Okuda with the call of the game. Once again, happy to be flanked by my friend and color commentator, Shane Majerus, Kenmore West High School men's varsity coach, an NCAA and NYSOA referee. Shane Majerus, hello there. Good
evening.
To have you.
Good evening, Tony. Thanks for having me tonight.
Another great night of soccer here in North Tonawanda, and a game that for Buffalo, they want to finish strong in this inaugural season, and the Ambassadors, they're looking to keep up there in the standings.
Yeah, I think Buffalo's got an opportunity here tonight. They played better than the 3-0 result that they had against Flower City, so I think tonight they're out there to prove something and finish this homestand with 3 wins.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night, and of course for Buffalo, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because their leading scorer, Luke Sobolewski, is not available tonight, so how is that going to change things for them?
Well, anytime you lose your leading scorer, it's certainly not a position you want to be in, but, they got reserves that have been practiced with them all season, and it's, with Coach McCone and Coach Pomfret, it's next man up, and it's an opportunity for someone.
And for the starting lineup for Buffalo, Jack Petrie, Tom Mullane, Riley Wagner, Jean Tilo, and Riley Quinn on defense. At midfield, Keegan Herman, Sam Lamondola, Axel Lazoya, Andy Loomis, Larry Knoll, and Alex Kademi. Any surprises there for you?
Well, I'd like to see how, Keegan Herman, he's really one of the younger players on this roster. I'd like to see how he steps up into the starting lineup and the minutes that he can give this team. And, he's young, he's fit, and he's, heading to Damon this fall into a D2 program with high expectations. So this is a real opportunity for him.
As we mentioned before, Buffalo, this is the final game, and of course they would have wanted to finish in the playoff hunt, but that is not the case. But still, they want to finish strong, and this inaugural season has been a very positive one.
Yeah, you could come away with a win tonight. And, you find yourself looking back at a couple of results that maybe you let something slip away. But it's an inaugural season, as you said. It's a young roster, and it's new, and you gotta find your way a little bit. And I think they've done a very good job with that this season.
As we await for the teams, we can see a couple of ex-Buffalo Stallions out there. The Buffalo Stallions goalkeeper and captain Jim May.
Yeah,
were you around at that time?
I was around. I looked up to him. He was a heck of a goalie, and I spent plenty of days with him over at Sportsplex and listened to him and learned from him. And he was.
Well, this is great because the other guy next to him happens to be my brother. And, of course, my brother, he played for the Buffalo Stallions for a number of years after graduating from Fredonia State. He became a member of the Buffalo Stallions, and it was something that he always wanted to do. So we love having both of them here tonight representing the old Buffalo Stallions, who were a big draw back in the days.
This got to be fun for you tonight, Tony, to see your brother out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure back in the day it was Family Feud with for your parents in the house, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a little bit as the game goes on, but we're going to stand for the national anthem and then get this game underway.
We're just setting the stage for the.
Yes.
At midfield, number 26, Matthew Spadin. At defender, number 34, James Diazadoro. At forward, number 36, Brandon Trujillo. At defender, number 37, Jordan Atkins. At defender, number 39, Jacob Irani. At midfield, number 47, Reese Utter. The Ambassadors FC are coached by Ryan Dean, assisted by Andy Strait and Isaiah Slava. Stallions Battalion, are you ready to meet the starting lineup for your new Buffalo Stallions tonight? In goal, number 0, Jack Petrie. At midfield, number 4, Andy Loomis. At defender, number 6, Jean Tilo. At forward, number 9, Larry No. At midfield, number 11, Axel Lazoya.
Skoldaney, and then at forwards Brandon Trujillo and Reese Utter. And for the Ambassadors tonight, their leading scorer is not in the lineup tonight. What do you think about that?
I think maybe with the heat that they have a little bit of a plan, the coaching staff, of when they're going to bring Amir into the game. So, you know.
Well, maybe also because they are already in a playoff, they're going to try to get out of this game without too much injuries or with anything like that, and keep him fresh for the next round or the first round of the playoffs. As we mentioned before, they're trying to finish. They could finish in second place, but if they lose tonight, they're going to be in fourth position.
Yeah, it's a big swing. It's at home versus on the road. So the Ambassadors certainly would like to play their first round playoff game at home. So I think they're.
We're waiting for the national anthem. Referees for tonight's game. Referee Sequoia Stewart, assisted by AR1 Jeffrey Roberts, AR2 Mason Cruz, and fourth official Jeffrey Preval. That is the referee crew, the center referee from Rochester. What do you know about him?
I mean, from what I've seen and heard, Sequoia's a good referee. If there's anything rap on him, it's just he's got to work hard and get there. But usually his calls are pretty good. Assistant referees are solid, and of course we got the veteran Jeff Preval as the fourth official, so we'll probably have a little fun with throughout the night.
We'll take this break for the national anthem. The national anthem, and now we're getting ready for the kickoff for tonight's game between the Buffalo Stallions and the Ambassadors FC of Ohio. As we mentioned earlier, Ambassadors are in second place presently, and they have an opportunity to remain there, but what they lost, they could fall to fourth place. So it's very important. And then for Buffalo, of course, they want to finish strong this year. This is their inaugural season, and they've done a great job in getting this program off the ground, Shane.
Yeah, they sure have. And, Tony, you go back to the last game. I mean, Buffalo started strong against Flower City, and they had the unfortunate luck of having one taken off the board early, doing an offside. But they were getting chances. So I'd like to see them come out tonight with that same attack and same intensity and try to see if they can, what kind of line the Ambassadors are playing, see if they can serve Larry through one of those gaps and let him go. Because he's got some speed, and he can get behind these defenses. So,
yeah. Well, and Buffalo, maybe they're hoping for the other team to have a little letdown. That last game of the season, the playoffs are just around the corner, so you never know. I know Buffalo is going to be motivated, and the guys that are going in there, Kademi is, you know him very well. He's a gritty player.
Yeah, he's gritty. I mean, he's played 4 years at Damon for Bediaco Swan, and he finished up his fifth year, graduate year at DUville, and he's been a starter the entire way. And he's really an intense player. He's a smart player, so he'll certainly pick this team up and put them on his shoulders and try to will them to victory tonight.
And for the Buffalo Stallions, a young man who will be attending college as a freshman next year, Keegan Herman. What do you say about him?
Well, I've my schedule is at Kenmore West boys varsity coach Play Wilson every year because Keegan's father, Paul Herman, is a student of the game, and he plays a brand of soccer that I like. And seeing a lot of players every year, Keegan is without a doubt the best player I saw all year. He moves the ball well, he makes decisions well, and once he makes a decision, he finds the open space, and he's certainly a lot to handle.
Up top, looks like Buffalo is going to go with Larry Knoll, and a guy that's going to be moved up. He's been playing all season long. Axel Lazoya has been playing at the midfield position, but looks like he's going to be up playing in the forward. We're going to go down to the field level, and Andy is going to be checking in from the sideline. Andy, can you hear us? Take them. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, how you doing up there?
Great, Andy. Great. Yes. Yeah, here he is. He's there. What's going on down there? How's the temperature? Everything good?
It's a beautiful day out here. Sun's going down. Hot, humid, and a beautiful day here in North Tonawanda.
All right. Let us know when you have something that you want to contribute to this broadcast. Otherwise, we'll forget about you.
Sounds good. I'll get to your brother and Jim Bay in a little while, and I'll talk to the assistant coach, and we'll do that at halftime.
All right, Andy. Thanks, you very
Andy.
much.
You got it.
All right, and here we go. We're underway. Buffalo in blue and the Ambassadors in their white uniform from our right to left. And let's see what happens. As we said, on defense, Riley Wagner and Jean Tilo with Tom Mullane on the right and Riley Quinn on the left.
Well, it looks like the Ambassadors open up with a 3-5-2. So it'll be interesting to see how Buffalo can control that midfield with two players in there.
All right. Let's see if we could get this crowd going here tonight. This final stanza for the Buffalo Stallions as the inaugural season. As we mentioned, maybe in the standings, not as high as they would want to have finished, but from a marketing standpoint, they've done a wonderful job, and Buffalo can be very proud of what they have accomplished so far this year. And I think it speaks very well for the future. Axel Lazoya on the right to Keegan Herman. The ball taken away, and the Ambassadors start to counter. Cut off by Riley Quinn. Back to Riley Wagner. Goes to Jack Petrie, who has played every minute of every game for these Buffalo Stallions this year and has done a great, great job. There were so many games where he was very, very important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, he's had a good season.
There's Mullane. To Kademi. Lazoya on this right side. Probably going to chip it for Noel. Larry Noel battling there. He gets the ball back. Chips it across, but intercepted by the Ambassadors. Lamondola. Wide to Andy Loomis. Loomis comes down, crosses the ball, across to Lazoya, who cuts it back, but nobody there for Buffalo to cash in. Here's Mullane. Taken out. There's a foul. It'll be Buffalo free kick. About 25 yards out. Actually, less than that.
There's a nice ball movement there from Buffalo. Create some.
There's
some
Lazoya.
chances.
Cuts it back, but nobody was there. Goes to Mullane. Mullane gets fouled. And it'll be a free kick for Buffalo. That was a promising attack by Buffalo. Let's see what we could do on this free kick. Gavin Hill, goalkeeper, sets his wall. Jean Tilo or Axel Lazoya. Looks like Lazoya is going to do the honors. Here's Lazoya with the shot. Lazoya and a goal! Goal! Riley Wagner there for the rebound. Axel Lazoya with the shot. Gavin Hill could not control it. And Riley Wagner was there to knock into the open net. Buffalo leads 1-0.
Well, you know, after the other night, the first thing we got to do is check with the assistant referee. And no flag. Everything looks good. We're used to calling Riley Wagner's name as he gobbles everything up on the other end of the field. And he's Mr. on the spot to finish that playoff.
Yep, that was great. Great start. That's what Buffalo needed, and that's what they got. And let's see what happens. Let's see the reaction from the Ambassadors. Buffalo leading 1-0, 4 minutes into this first half. Mullane with the ball. Intercepted by Trujillo. Jordan Akins. Back to Akins, but Loomis knocks it out of play. It'll be a throw-in.
Fans, be sure to stop by the concession stand and get yourself a Buffalo Stallions alive and chicken hot dog or a Stallion Stampede pulled pork sandwich. We also have drinks, popcorn,
Mullane
and underwear. Be sure to
to Lamondola.
pick up all your Buffalo Stallions gear. You can also find one of our volunteers.
Here's Loomis for no. Being marked by Desidorio. Across. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Buffalo's ball. Corner kick. Buffalo moving the ball around very well. Loomis getting the ball to Larry Knoll, who goes in the left side, tries to cross, but cut off by the defense. It'll be a corner kick for the Buffalo Stallions. Saturday night in North Tonawanda, NPSL action between the Ambassadors FC Ohio and the Buffalo Stallions. Here's the corner. Head ball over the net by Riley Wagner. It'll be Ambassadors' ball. Another nice crowd here in North Tonawanda. on a hot night. A little breeze, but perfect for soccer. The Ambassadors looking to find somebody open to get the ball to. Good pressure by Larry Knoll to Jordan Akins. Tries the ball for Mike Kane, but it goes to Gentilo, back to Jack Petrie. Matthews Kildani with the ball to Akins. Back to Akins, intercepted by Lamandola to Loomis. Broken up by the Ambassadors. Desidorio with the ball. Almost slipped on a play. Alex Deprochamp with the ball. Offside. Mike Kane was offside. Buffalo's ball. Gentilo will put the ball into play. Here's Lazoya. Neatly gets out of trouble to Riley Quinn. Long cross for Keegan Herman. Knocked down by the Ambassadors. Mike Kane comes back to get the ball from to Jordan Akins, and it'll be a throw-in for the Ambassadors.
Just waiting for the final whistle, Tony. This one to end. Buffalo win.
1-0. Yeah,
1-0.
There's a foul on Axel Lazoya, who fouled the Ambassador player. They put the ball into play. Alex Dapperschmidt with the ball. Back to Dapperschmidt, but could not control it. Riley Quinn. Long ball for Lazoya. Too far. It'll be a throw-in at midfield for the Ambassadors. Here comes Larry Knoll. Puts it through for Lazoya, but could not get to it. Desidorio turns it upfield, intercepted by Mullane, who turns back in his own end. Riley Wagner to Gentilo. Chips it inside, but to nobody in particular. Lazoya. A long clearing pass by the Ambassador. Here come the Ambassadors. Trujillo with the ball. Here's a cross inside, but cleared out by Riley Wagner. Buffalo playing tight defense, everybody dropping back and defending. Here's Akins. Brandon French. Brandon Swan across the field. Dapperschmidt, but intercepted by Lazoya. Mullane pressures the ball. It'll be a throw-in for Buffalo.
Yeah, you got Sam Lamandola and Alex Kademi in there in the middle, and they're really plugging the gaps up real nice. not giving the Ambassadors much to play with in as they enter that final third. Larry Knoll wanted a foul there, and I think he was right. I think he was getting tugged on pretty good and couldn't do what he needed to do.
The Ambassadors looking for some room. Skladany wide for a teammate, puts the ball through to trying to find Brendan Swan. Cut off by Buffalo. Reese Utter. Good pressure by Larry Knoll. Nice give and go to Alex Dapperschmidt, who goes inside. The cross just missed. That'll be a goal kick for Buffalo.
That was dangerous.
The lineup they gave us, so they had all these guys playing forward. And I'm redoing everything on the fly here. Gotta love it.
Yeah, it seems like we get that every week from the away team. Like they're holding something back.
Yeah, a very secretive situation here.
Like Coach Spacone and Coach Palmer aren't watching the film from these guys.
Yeah.
And you got 9 other games. It's no secret anymore. Maybe week 1 you can do that.
Absolutely. Not like the old days where, everybody now with everything that goes on, social media and everything, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, these games are all at your disposal.
Right.
I mean, getting ready for sectionals last year for high school playoffs, and someone asked if I was going to a game. I said, no, I'm not going to the game. Why would I go to the game? I'm watching live feeds, right?
TV,
I watch 2 games at one time.
Well, that's the great part, because in the old days this was not available, and now everybody is, does the live stream, even the high school ones. Isidoro.
Yeah, we had a couple possible opponents, so I'm watching 2 games in one night on my living room TV.
Yep. Jack Petrie clears it out. Brendan French will take the throw-in for the Ambassadors. Again, Buffalo playing very tight on defense, and they're 4-4-2. Not giving them much room and pressuring the ball. Good pressure there.
Well, the Ambassadors are trying to play so wide. 19. Alex Depperschmidt was actually off the field.
Yeah.
Our 4th official.
There's a foul.
Jeff Preval needs to see that and get him back on there.
I think Jeff is doing his notes for tonight's newscast, 11 o'clock.
We're going to have our sideline reporter, Andy, call for action.
What are we going to call for Andy to report him? Andy, our good man, Andy Evenhouse, with us tonight. Of course, Andy is a legend in Buffalo soccer. Here's a through ball, but right to Jack Petrie.
I want a shot of those shoes on the live feed.
Oh, he looks like, where's he going?
I think he might be going home.
So we asked him, here he goes. He's talking to the fans, citing autographs.
He just got an autograph from a little kid.
Yeah. Well, Andy Evenhouse, the pride of Lancaster and Buffalo State College. Not only a great soccer player, but also quite the student. 3.5?
3.5 minimum.
So what if that was his blood alcohol content? 3.5. Well, doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter. That's why he's got a nice tea down there.
Oh, yeah. Here he comes.
I was going to have him check Bill Van Slyke's bottle shortly.
Yeah. 16 minutes into this first half. The Buffalo Stallions, on a goal by Riley Wagner at the 4-minute mark, leads this game 1-0. Riley Wagner. Well, there's a foul on Sam Lamondola. There'll be a free kick for the Ambassadors to the left of Jack Petrie. Buffalo defending here. Here comes the kick. Nope, that was a fake.
Mason Cruz has got that one.
Brendan Swan with a cross inside, headed out by Riley Quinn to Axel Lazoya, who loses it. The Ambassadors get the ball back to Reese Utter, but the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be goal kick for Buffalo. Goal kick for the Stallions. They lose it. John Tilo is there to clean up the mess.
Yeah, that didn't
look good.
Ambassadors read that right from the start. Alex Depperschmidt did a nice job of coming in and cutting off the outside pass and force them up the middle. And Ambassadors right there to jump that.
Jack Petrie with the save.
We might be heading to our sideline reporter soon for a little interview with Bill Van Slyke.
Oh, okay. Oh, boy. We're laughing at our buddy Andy down there. In the meantime, the Ambassadors trying to work their way up to Desidorio. And we're going to go down to the sideline and our reporter, Andy Evenhouse. Andy, what do you got for us?
Too bad. How's it been this year working with the referees, and how is it with the contact?
It's been great. Most of them have been very cooperative with us. They appreciate having someone here to help out, check when they're checking the nets and checking the fields. If there's deficiencies they see, I make sure they get taken care of and make sure they have drinks in their locker room and their pizza afterwards.
All right, so you got
The
it all
most
taken
important
care of.
part.
Yes, we do.
All right, Bill Van Slyke here, field side at
Andy,
the Stallions game.
Does the pizza after the game depend on the referee calls?
No, it does not.
Oh, Bill heard that one. Thanks, guys.
All right, back to the live action here. There's a long pass for Dapperschmidt. Offside, Buffalo ball.
The Buffalo Stallions are thrilled to welcome Antonio's Banquet and Conference Center to our gold sponsor spot. Located just minutes from Niagara Falls, Antonio's is West New York's premier banquet facility, specializing in everything elegant weddings.
Nice to see Bill out there.
Great guy, and as we mentioned, you know, this is our 5th game doing, you know, we've often talked about what a great job this organization has done putting this product on the field. And again, maybe it doesn't show on the standings, but everything else is, without question, really top-notch.
Yeah, it certainly has been top-notch. And, you know, it shows by the crowds that they're getting and the community's response to everything they're doing.
Ball's up in the air. Keegan Herman hits it, but it goes to, it'll be a throw-in for the Ambassadors. 21 minutes gone first half. 1-0 Buffalo. Tony Okudo with Shane Majerus. And on the sideline, Andy Evenhouse from North Tonawanda High School. Another great night of soccer with these Buffalo Stallions. Foul on Riley Quinn. It'll be a free kick for the Ambassadors.
Yeah, so far these referees have had a pretty easy night. The calls have been pretty simple, pretty obvious so far. So
no problem for the referee. He hasn't screwed anything up so far. Great.
No, not yet, not yet.
And that's the thing about referees. If you're invisible, that means you did a great job because nobody's talking about you. When they start talking about referees, you know that there is issues.
Yeah, that's true.
So the more invisible he is, the better off. Here's the kick, a low one, headed out by Mullane, who loses it, but Lamondola up the field, but again, a foul on Tom Mullane.
You know you're having a good game as a ref when the fourth official hasn't moved.
I mean, he might be growing roots.
I think he's a statue now.
Our buddy, Jeff Preval, Buffalo product. We have 3 guys from Buffalo and head referee from Rochester. Here's a free kick. Ambassadors looking to get their first shot on goal. 2-man wall to the left of Jack Petrie. Here's a shot over the crossbar.
For 3.
That's for 3. Yes. Nice crowd on hand. We have First Responders Day today. And a couple of ex-Buffalo Stallions with us on the stands, Jim May and my brother, Pat Occhiuto.
Yeah, I was just down there talking with Pat, and I did say to him, I said, when's the last time I saw you? And it was when he was teaching me how to referee as a fan. I was assistant referee for a legend in his own mind, John Kramer.
John Kramer.
And let's just say the game wasn't going very well.
Shocking.
And Pat Occhiuto was teaching me how to referee, and I don't think he was wrong either.
A turnover. The Ambassadors. Here comes Loomis to Lazoya on the right-hand side inside the box. Lazoya chips it over the crossbar.
Lazoya wants that one back.
He's trying to cut that back, but that just did not happen.
Yeah, he wants that one back. That you got to keep that one in play.
Turnover, but unfortunately did not lead to anything. Here come the Ambassadors. Buffalo dropping back, defending. Scladini with the ball, but he loses it to Jack Petrie, to Riley Wagner, the goal scorer today. To Keegan Herman, inside to Lazoya, chips it for Noel. Noel goes after it. He gets to it. Here's Noel. To Alex Hidemi, loses the ball. Brendan Swan. To Jordan Akins. 25 minutes gone this first half, 1-0 Buffalo. Here's Lamondola going toward his own net. Hits it all the way back to goalkeeper Jack Petrie. Pass to Riley Wagner. To Tom Mullane. Mullane to Lazoya. Lazoya switches field. Inside. To Loomis. Loomis going in on goal. Loomis hits it too far. That was a great opportunity for the Buffalo Stallions. Lazoya saw a streaking Andy Loomis on the left side. Great outside of the foot pass to Loomis, who goes in, but his first touch went just too far. And Gavin Hill comes out to smother that ball.
Well, I was just on the verge of saying, Tony, that That is the touch, the direction of the touch you want. Too many
But-
times players touch that straight. You want that touched into the goal. He just had a little bit too heavy of a
We have a
touch.
hydration break.
Ooh, hydration break
Hydration
tonight.
break. Yes.
Take one too.
Hold on, I'm going to have one too.
We respectfully ask that all military personnel, first responders, firefighters, and police officers past and
Oh, Shane, it has been a great season. I just, before I forget, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. Nice round of applause for all our first responders here tonight. Well-deserved applause from this crowd to the first responders.
I thought they were applauding for me when you got to thank
Oh,
me.
that too.
But I appreciate you having me up here, Tony. I really enjoyed it and continue to.
Could this be your new career?
I don't know. I'll let the fans and the organization decide that. But I know that this season's been a lot of fun, and to be a part of this grassroots movement with such wonderful people is exciting and fun to be a part of. So it's it's been enjoyable for me, and I appreciate you bringing me up here.
No, it really has been a great fun, and I truly enjoyed it. When I was asked to do this, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I must say that I've been doing radio for more years than I care to remember, and haven't done this in a long time. What do you say?
Steve Sables, I think, advocating for me doing this as a new career.
Oh, he wants you off the sidelines, huh, Steve?
He doesn't want me coaching anymore.
I
think we've beaten Niagara Wheatfield too many times in the past 5 years.
Oh
no, actually, I think we're even. I think we're even. It's been good. We have Niagara Wheatfield's got quite a history up there with soccer with John Coulter and Steve Sable coaching. And
did I hear something about John Coulter?
I heard that this is it. This is his
farewell game?
farewell tour this season, and he's been a staple on that sideline for a long time, and that's quite a program. Every year you get the sectionals, right? And you know a successful coach when they have about 1,000 people on the sideline.
Yeah.
Everybody comes back and
no, he does. He has a great program, and if it is his last year, we thank him for all the years of service that he has given to soccer here in Western New York, and he truly is one of the good guys. And as referees, we appreciate guys like him because he's a very fair coach.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
All right, hydration break over. We're back to live action. The Ambassadors with the ball.
The Ambassadors coach is down there maybe chatting up with the fourth.
What's he complaining about?
I don't know, but Praval just moved away from him.
No. All right. Skladany with the ball, cuts it across the middle, switches field to Swan. Back to Aikens. Nice play by Riley Quinn to intercept that pass to Gentilo, who goes back to Jack Petrie. Petrie knocks it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Ambassadors. 30 minutes gone. 1-0 Buffalo. Lamondola to Keegan Herman. Looks for offside. I was going to say look for no, but I saw the AR1 Jeffrey Roberts getting ready to pop that flag, which he did. It'll be offside. Just a step too late with that pass.
Yeah, looked like he was cheating a little bit there. But I'd definitely like to see that again. But it was tight. It was tight. But
Larry Knoll has a new partner up there today. It's Axel Lazoya, a teammate of him in Buffalo loses possession of the ball. A chip.
Well, you actually have 4 Damon Wildcats out here.
Yeah.
You have Gentilo, Keegan Herman, Axel Lazoya, and Larry Knoll. You could have the Damon Wildcats college team here tonight.
And I see Larry Noel was the player of the week in the BDSL game last week. He scored 3 goals for the Raiders. And he's hoping to knock one in here tonight.
Well, he definitely plays that line tight. He's an assistant referee nightmare because he plays a tight line, and you got to be ready to make some decisions.
There's a foul on Noel. And frankly, I must admit, I'm kind of shocked to see him out there because the last game here's a head ball, but just fortunately for the Buffalo Stallions, that ball went over the crossbar. There was a foul on Larry Noel, and the Ambassadors put it into play very quickly. Buffalo was not ready. There's a cross by Brendan Swan, a diving header that just went over the crossbar. Buffalo can't fall asleep. They did there. They put the ball into play quickly.
They had one earlier, the Ambassadors, where they just missed. I don't like that call, Tony.
He wasn't even looking.
No, he's not looking. He's getting bumped around. I feel that's in the rules
Dapperschmidt
now.
with the ball. Yeah,
that's natural.
Here's a chip inside the box. Looked like a offside, but no, that was not the case.
It did look offside from here.
Yeah. Of course, we have the benefit of the replay, but the referees don't. So we'll take a look at it. Guess we're not going to have a replay on that one. Okay. Larry Noel goes in. Here's Noel with the shot. Just wide. Larry Noel went in, took a left-footed blast, and Gavin Hill just got his fingers on it. They lose the ball, bad back pass, and Larry Noel intercepts this, crosses to his left, shoots it across the net, and Gavin Hill was just able to get his fingertips on it. It'll be a corner kick for Buffalo.
Tony, you look at a couple of our past games, and that's been one of Buffalo's problems. Guys aren't taking that shot.
No.
They're finding one more pass, and when Larry shoots that goalie's not ready.
No.
And he's lucky to get his fingertips on that and save it. Excellent play by Larry Noel.
Buffalo loses the ball. Mullane trips. Kane chips it to the left side. Make that the right side, the other left. But fortunately for Buffalo, that was a disaster.
Well, it was a disaster. But
it started in midfield when Mullane fell down.
Mullane struggled there, but I'll tell you what, Riley Quinn bailed him out and played that perfectly. Mullane's going to have to we get away with a win here. Mullane's going to have to thank Quinn later. In
this one.
Absolutely. Played it perfect.
I put my head down for a second, and all of a sudden I saw him tripping down, and off the races they go. Skladany. Ambassador still trying to put some passes together. Inside the box.
I can do something after.
Goes to the top of the box. Headed out by Lamondola. Here comes Lazoya. Lazoya back to Lamondola. To Herman. Knocked out of play by the Ambassadors. It'll be a throw-in for Buffalo. Go ahead, Andy. Andy, what do you got for us?
Yeah, we were just talking to the Cleveland coach, and the Ambassadors FC currently in second place, and they need a victory here at a Flower City loss to secure first place in the division here going forward.
All right. Well, I didn't think it was going to be an easy game for them because I thought maybe that I I don't know. Maybe they thought that it was going to be easy going tonight in Buffalo.
Well, they beat them 3-0 the first time, so you never know what's going to go on there. That's why we play the game.
Well, and unfortunately for the Ambassadors is that Flower City has the luxury of playing Syracuse tonight. And I know you have to play the game, but Syracuse has not had a good season.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. We're 36 minutes in, and thank you, Andy. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, there you have it. Andy Evenhouse at the sideline, our sideline reporter. Here's Mullane with the ball to Lazoya. Lazoya nutmegs the defender Dapperschmidt, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Buffalo. Here's Noel. Being worked over by the defense to Loomis. Riley Quinn supports. Long ball across the field to Lazoya. Lazoya goes in the box. It was deflected by the Ambassadors, and they get the ball back, but Buffalo maintains possession right now. Mullane to Jean Tilo. Tilo brings the ball up to Riley Quinn. Another chip, another interception by the Ambassadors, but Buffalo again maintains possession. Kademi to Mullane. Riley Wagner with the ball, the goal scorer. Lamondola. Buffalo's waiting too long, and the Ambassadors are getting their feet on those passes. They got to move the ball a little bit quicker. Here's Herman. Keegan Herman to the left. Oh, another great ball by Keegan Herman to Larry Noel, but his first touch again let him down. One-on-one with the goalie, but the touch was just too far, and it goes to Gavin Hill. Nice play by the youngster Keegan Herman to make a nice play, but
yeah,
Larry Noel's first touch let him down again.
Jacob Irani was really going after the ref there after that play finished up. There was somehow he ended up on the ground in the middle, and there was some contact with Noel off the ball. So none of the crew were looking at that spot, and that's what sprung Larry Noel. And unfortunately, he had a heavy touch, but something went on behind that play there.
Desidoro with the ball. Buffalo happy to have the Ambassador just play the ball backwards.
Well, that's because that Buffalo is really they're plugging these lanes, and they're not giving the Ambassadors anything in the final third and as they cross midfield. It's tough sailing.
Here's Noel. Pops it up in the air. He's got to keep the ball on the ground. I mean,
yeah, there's no reason to pop that up in there. So, Ambassador's coach went over to the fourth official. He's probably talking about that, what happened behind that play on Noel's breakaway.
Right. Wow.
But sometimes those things happen off the ball. You hope with four guys somebody catches it, but
the fourth official probably told him it was a turf monster.
I think that's what I saw him. I saw him doing something, but he's rooted. He hasn't moved, so I don't think the fourth official can move. We're going to call for action soon.
Desidorio back into his own zone. Again, Buffalo happy to have them go backwards. It's great to have possession, but once in a while, the game requires to move forward and score.
Well, I'll tell you what, Amendola and Kademi are playing really good together in the midfield. They're really reading each other properly. They got good balance, and that's making things real tough for the Ambassadors as they go forward.
Here come the Ambassadors. Cutting across the middle. Reese Utter inside the box, but Riley Wagner is there. Riley Wagner loses the ball. He thought the ball was out of bounds. The assistant referee says...
Well, I tell you what, to be fair to Mason Cruz over there as a AR2, he's not only looking clear across the field, he's looking into the sun. I did think from this angle it was out, but that's a tough...
He called... What happened there? There was just a whole... He put the flag up, and then he put it down. I don't know what happened there, but I thought I saw the assistant referee with the flag up in the play.
Well, can we see that again?
Yeah, here we go. There's a throw-in. Goes to the top of the box. He shoots it. It hits the defender, Buffalo's defense.
Let's look at that once more, please.
Yeah. Brandon Swan with the goal, ultimately. But... Spencer, can you play that back for us? Brandon Swan with the goal at the 41-minute mark.
Oh, he's offside.
There's no question. I thought he was offside. Totally offside. He put the flag up initially, which was the right call, and then he put it down and he started walking up the line.
Oh, he was definitely
basically.
Man, that's a tough one for Buffalo.
1-1. At the 41-minute mark, the Ambassadors get on a scoreboard. Here comes Larry Noel with the shot. Just wide. I think Larry should have looked to his left because Loomis was moving up there.
I could get what Larry's thinking. He had a nice rip a little earlier, and
25 yards out.
Yeah, this one might have been 30.
Yeah.
So a little ambitious, but he's playing well. So
that was a very unfortunate situation for the Stallions. Here's Noel, turns it, goes off the defense. It'll be a corner kick for the Stallions.
Well, this is where Tony, if you ask me, I think requirements of these leagues should be, if you're going to referee at this level, you have to have headsets, and that should be a requirement.
Oh,
and
he doesn't have them on.
you're gonna have to have headsets. I mean, they're coming.
And I agree with you. The fact is that even though we have headset, that does not make us do away with the mechanics of the game. And I think sometimes the headset makes us lazy and we don't use the proper mechanics. He did use the proper mechanics in that situation. He put the flag up, and then when the ball goes in, he starts running up the field. He put it down.
Yeah, I don't understand what. I guess the question is then, why doesn't our referee go over there and have a conversation?
Yeah, he didn't even have a conversation at all with him.
We're not in a hurry here. We got all night.
I mean, it doesn't matter how it looks. The important thing is you have to get it right. So if he goes over there, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with going and asking. But in this case, I don't know that he would have went over there if anything would have changed. We don't want to be critical, but it was.
Well, I had a call, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 years ago, Buff State and Oneonta. Whoever wins the game was going to host a tournament that year. And Graham Harris, good buddy of ours, is on the assistant referee. His flag goes up, flag goes down. Ball goes in the net. Oneonta is up 2-1.
Here come the Ambassadors, breaking in on goal. Mike Kane with the ball, being watched by Mullane. Nice play by Mullane to knock it away temporarily. The Ambassadors get the ball back. Is Trujillo, who turns his man and beats him. He beats another one, knocks it off of Herman, and it goes right back to Jack Petrie.
And I go over, we don't have headsets. I go over there. I ask Graham what he's got, and Graham stuttered. And I said, well, your flag went up. I'm not going to live with this for the rest of my life. I called it no goal. We go to overtime. Buff State scores. They win 2-1. we had to do everything to get out of there from the Oneonta fans because they were not happy with us.
I'm sure.
And when we saw the play on film, it was super tight and probably could have gone either way. But
La Mandola. Chantillo comes over to help out. Here comes La Mandola once again. Through ball for Noel, but Noel wasn't moving.
I mean, my point there, Tony, is you got to go over and have the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's the least that the referees owe this game.
Well, now it's water over the dam, as they say. It's 1-1. 2 minutes of extra time in this first half. 1-1.
Well, water over the dam, but it's it's a couple games in a row now, and just doesn't feel good when you're a coach down there and an organization working so hard.
Yeah. And for those that were not available the other night, there were a couple of questionable calls that could have changed things for the Stallions. Trujillo chips it to the far side, but too far. It'll be a goal kick for Buffalo. As we said, 2 minutes extra time. There's probably 1 minute left. 1-1 the score. I think we're going to have Andy talk to the assistant or one of the coaches for the Stallions. Good defense by La Mandola to Loomis. Being watched by Jordan Akins. Back to La Mandola. Through ball for Herman. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Buffalo ball. Buffalo's got to hurry. La Mandola heads it inside. There's a shot by Noel, but out of bounds. Wide, hits the side of the net.
Well, Loomis and Noel are both complaining about something. If you look at our referee, he's standing 35 yards from the play. I mean, he's got to work his way over there.
Well, here's the problem, because, it's tough enough. We know how difficult it is to call the game, and it's very we're reached halftime, but the thing is that we need to, if you want to sell a call, you have to get closer to the action. When you're 35 yards, 40 yards away, it's going to be very difficult to try to sell that to the coaches that you have the best position. So he's got to be moving.
It's too nonchalant. It's just too nonchalant. You got to be there. And
well, as we see right now, Riley Wagner is going over to talk to the AR Mason Cruz. And he's telling him he was offside. And we saw the replay.
Can we play it back again?
Spencer, you don't have it? Okay. I guess we don't have the all right. As we await there's an explanation going on between Riley Wagner, the captain of the Buffalo Stallions, and Mason Cruz, the AR.
Tony, I didn't see it. I was looking over here.
Oh, great. Oh, okay. Oh, Jason. Thank you. There's Mr. Hernandez. He says he watches us in California.
Wow, we got a
look at this going on here.
Well, I don't know what. Here's my thought right now, Tony, is that if and I didn't look over there. If you saw that flag go up, the question is, what's the flag going up for? Why doesn't the referee have a conversation with the assistant referee? And at this point, this conversation is going on way too long.
Yeah, totally. There's no reason. I mean, it's over and done with.
Okay, here we go. We got.
Okay, we have Andy down there, and he has assistant coach Rudy Pompert. Andy, go ahead.
All right, we got Rudy Pompert, the assistant coach here of the Stallions. What is the status for the second half?
Well, let's see if we can score an extra goal and make it 2-1. I think there are opportunities. We've had some chances, so I think we'll get there. I think we'll make this a good end today.
You're going to make some spoilers there, huh?
Absolutely,
All
absolutely.
right. And one other question before you go. I know you got to get to the locker room. What are the chances for the Euro, the Netherlands women?
We're going to win it.
We're going to win.
it,
Okay.
of course.
Hey,
You got it here,
Andy,
guys.
get Rudy back. Get Rudy. He took off. I wanted to ask
He's
him.
fast.
Oh,
Look at him running down the track there.
He's really fast.
All right, Andy, you have a couple of guys down there that you're going to be talking to. Jim
We've got
May,
Jim
ex-Buffalo
May
Stallions.
And somebody named Pat Acciato.
Jeez, get it right, will you?
Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah,
Hey,
stop
guys, how
it.
you doing, man?
Doing well, thank you.
All right, Pat, how you doing? Good. All right, so let me ask right now, what was your first memory as a Stallion?
Well, that was so long ago, Jim.
First memory was, let's see, going to lunch with Sal DeRosa. You know, I don't know the first game. First game, I can't even go back that far anymore. But I remember, you know, what the best memories were when the arena was full at the Odd.
Oh yeah.
And 16,000 people, and you know, all that crowd was great. We were very fortunate, and that was a fun time.
Yeah, I think the 2 games we played Saturday against the Arrows, we had to win to make the playoffs, and then the next day we played Hartford. We won both games and set the record in attendance, 31,000 something for 2 days attendance.
Just like everything in Buffalo, good fans.
Was that Steve Jungle era?
Yeah,
Yes.
Steve did not score a goal that game or assist.
All right. What was it like playing in front of the hometown fans, Pat?
It was nerve-wracking. My first game, I remember walking in to warm up when they closed the gate. It was like the eyes were on you, and it was very nervous. But you know, once the game started, you don't think about it.
What was it like being the #1 pick there, Jim?
I guess, you know, that was nice, but I mean, that doesn't matter. We had some really good teammates, a lot of good players on that team, and like Pat was saying, and you know, everybody was, you know, the same. But being, you know, drafted #1 was an honor, that's for sure. And Buffalo's a great city.
All right, one other thing here. What were the road trips like? And be honest.
I don't know if we can really say the road. Interesting, memorable.
Every city was different. It depends on where you were, you know, and how many. It really matters too, and which city you're in. You know what you had to do. And, you know, there were some we were out for dinner, and some we were. Sometimes we stayed in and relaxed.
And had cocktails?
Always had a cocktail. Yeah.
I did hear from Otto Wharf, just to make sure you know.
I saw Otto a little while ago. He's a good man. Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
Andy.
Who are your favorite players to play with?
I love playing with Ernie. He's one of the greatest indoor players. Guys like Eddie Azevedo, Oscar, great guys and great players.
And you, Jim?
You know, everybody was, you know, you can't knock anybody that we played with. We had a whole bunch of good guys. I mean, Jimmy Sinclair that was here, Jimmy, you know, all the guys, Eddie Oscar, like he's talking about. Tony Betts, I mean, on and on and on. There were a lot of good players back then. It was fun.
Scott Manning?
Scott was a great guy, yeah. Scott, yep. I haven't talked to Scott in a long time, actually. But he was a good player, and, yeah, it was fun. Scott was a character, that's for sure.
All right, one last question
Andy,
before we go. Any good stories, or can we not talk about it here?
Yeah, I don't think this is suitable for talking about it.
Yeah.
A lot of great stories. We'll keep them to ourselves.
All right, and one last thing for you, Pat. Do you know the guy calling the game?
Yeah, I do. He's my good-looking brother.
All right, guys. Pat Acuto and Jim May from Fieldside here at the Buffalo Stallions game.
Hey, Andy, can you hear us? Andy, can you hear us? He can't hear us. All right. All right. I was going to ask Jim a couple of questions from up here, but unfortunately we can't. We couldn't hear us. But anyway, we thank Jim May. He was the Stallions goalie and first-round draft choice and captain of the Buffalo Stallions. And Pat Acuto, my brother, who played for time for the Buffalo Stallions, then went to the Kansas City Comets, and then played also for Rochester. Two great guys during an era that brought a lot of joy and happiness to Buffalo with the indoor soccer. And unfortunately, after a few years, because of management and things of that nature, the team had to disband. But for the time being, it was a lot of fun to go to those games, Shane.
Yeah, I was a kid back then, and I really enjoyed going to that arena and watching those guys. I had a wonderful time as a kid going down there. And
so I remember one time we went down to the game. I played for Buffalo State, and we had a game we had an NCAA playoff game in Ithaca. We played against Binghamton. I played for Buff State at that time, and unfortunately for us, we lost 2-1, and I had a lot of dental work that needed to be done because I got my teeth knocked out. And I went to the game, and I went to the trainer, Jim Pengelly at the time, and he looked at me. I smiled. He goes, "What happened to you?" He goes, "My teeth got knocked out." And John Dobus was the team dentist. He goes, "Come tomorrow morning in my office at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning," and he root canal and the whole thing. So.
And you're all back to.
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't miss the game because those games were a lot of fun. We actually used to sit behind the net. The guys that were not dressed for the Stallions at the time would sit behind the net. And the Stallions were playing against the New York Arrows. Shep Messing was in goal, and they were having a rough time because Buffalo was really taking it to him, and he got all upset to the point where at halftime there was a brawl at halftime, and we're looking at another monitor here, and that goal is definitely looked offside.
That's the moment. We're looking right now at the exact moment that ball is coming off of the foot of the Ambassador player. And if you look at the way Riley Wagner's lined up with the Ambassador player who ends up scoring the goal, it's probably a third of his body to a half of his body that's on the inside. It's an offside call, and the reason that it's a little bit bothersome is it's somewhat of a stationary play.
Yeah.
You're not running
well, from
30
that
yards.
from that you have it frozen. From that, it's definitely an offside.
It's an offside call. I mean,
yeah, we'll show the.
We'll show the experts here.
We'll show the experts
we got
here.
a couple experts
Jim
joining
and
us in
Pat,
the booth.
And
let's see what they
hello,
think.
Jim. How are you? Good to see you.
Hey,
You,
Jim.
I don't need to shake hands. No, we were looking at the goal. And there's the Ambassador player. He looked off, so there's the ball gone, and he's in an offside position.
About half his body.
You want to give him the headset real quick, Shane?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask. No. We're going to put you on. I wanted to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question real quick. Do you remember? I know there's a certain age. You guys are old, but do you remember who scored the first goal for the Buffalo Stallions? Do you remember who scored? Joe Horvat, right? Your teammate in Rochester. I remember
him. Wow, what a player!
I remember. Boy, you guys had some players back then. No check, no play. That was his motto. It was like, unbelievable.
You know what happened, Tony, if you remember, the North American Soccer League went down.
Yeah.
And all those players came to the MISL.
Yeah, well, and Buffalo had Joe Horvat, you, Carlos Metuderi, Pancho Escos.
All three of the Yugoslavians.
So
Petrovic.
I was thinking we had Stan Karasi.
Karasi, Petrovic, and Charlie Jordas.
No, Yankovic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Number 14. And then the next year he was gone, and they brought in Charlie Jordash.
And he was a player.
Yeah, what a.
In the hallway with Shep Messing.
So I was just mentioning that because we were sitting behind the net. We always used Mino Drogmiller, Reynard. What's his name? Oh, God, I forgot his name. but we used to sit behind and we were abusing Shep Messing.
Yeah, that's not hard.
And he got really upset. So he comes off at halftime, and he got into it with Sam Lippa, and his head got smashed into the wall. I think he was cut. And so there was a brawl, and then after that game, there was.
In the hallway.
They would not allow us. But those days were really. I was just reminiscing about.
There were some great
those
games.
days. Sal DeRosa, of course.
God bless him.
I remember him talking the one time when he was sick. He had a fever. So I sat on a bench. I was there helping out, and Louis Dabo was the assistant coach.
Right.
So we had a walkie-talkie back then, not in not with cell phones. They had this walkie-talkie that was bigger than me, and he tells Dooley, he goes, "You turn around and you look at me up in the press box. You don't watch the game. You watch me. And when I tell you something, you turn around and talk to Louis." So this guy's standing there on the bench looking upstairs, Dooley, and Sal is up there. He's sick. All of a sudden, Louis goes, "Throw that." He took that thing and shut it off. He goes, "I don't want to listen to it anymore." But those were some of the great memories that we had of that team. And you guys, you had a great group.
They were a fun group, and we just talked about that. I mean, all good guys, good players, and that was we were really lucky. We had a good group of people, and it was fun. And the only thing I regret, and Pat, you didn't ask us that, but the New York series.
Well, that was the playoff series.
I should have. My fault for not calling timeout when Klevecka wouldn't let us call timeout. And there was I was exhausted.
Oh, Ray Klevecka.
And he said, "No timeouts." We were up by 2 goals. And I couldn't even breathe. I said, "Jimmy, call timeout. Give me 30 seconds." Because they were all over us. But I to this day, I regret not calling timeout.
That team, it was, first of all, from a marketing standpoint, it was fantastic. And Sal DeRosa, his motto was, if there's no news, make stuff up. So he would make stuff up and call the paper, and, he would just, it was BS most of the time. But he knew how to market. And you guys had great players, a bunch of great players, and it was one of the main franchises at that time.
It was fun, and again, Pat and I were just talking about the 15,000, 16,000 people at the games, and when there's a couple of games in a row, and I think if we'd have won that New York game, it would have changed a lot of things that and kept it going a little bit longer. Yeah. It was fun, and they had a lot of bigger quote players.
Superstars.
I mean, Sungo, they had
they had Messing, they had Zhongo, they had Branko Zagoda.
Yeah.
They had that other guy, I forgot his name, but I mean they had a lot of good players.
Luis Alberto.
Yeah, Luis Alberto. But you guys kept up with them, and it was a great rivalry.
Couple games. Remember that 10-9 game?
Yeah.
I mean, that's only in indoors do you get a 10-9 game, and we won that game. That
no,
was like. Yep.
Get closer, Pat.
That's right. Yeah.
What about the time where Sal DeRosa called a meeting because the Yugoslavians could not figure out how to use the hairdryer? Do you remember that? He called them how to start the car. Yeah.
Louis Dabo and Mickey Vieri were Sal DeRosa. So they're up there talking, and Louis walks in, and quiet, nobody said a word.
Well, and the other thing, in addition to you guys having great players, you had the opportunity to play with world-class players. Paolo Rossi, who was the Golden Boot winner in the 1982 World Cup when Italy won the World Cup for Italy. And speaking of which, 19 years ago, yesterday, Italy beat Germany to go to the final, and then they won. And they also had Eusebio.
Portuguese boy.
Which, he was, you back in the day, you talked about Pele, and then there was Eusebio.
Yeah.
So, but
good player.
Yugoslavia
He played for Red Star Belgrade. He was a captain.
He was the captain, yeah. So one thing is that Sal really knew how to recruit, and he put a great bunch of players together, and you guys.
We miss Sal.
He was a good man, and we owe him. Buffalo owes a lot to him as far as soccer because he put soccer on the maps. Jim, it's great seeing you again.
Good seeing you.
I see you all the time, and thank you very much. Thanks for being part of today. All right, there you have it. Jim May and my brother Pat Occhiuto. It is 1-1, ready to start the second half. A nice opportunity to meet or chat with Jim May, who I haven't had the opportunity to talk to in many, many years. And they're here today on this final game for this Buffalo Stallions in the NPSL. Their first year, and as we mentioned before, they've really put down some great roots and speaks very well for the future. It is 1-1, goals by Riley Wagner at the 4-minute mark, and it was tied up by Brandon Swan 41 minutes into that first half. It is 1-1 with the second half just about to start. Jason Hernandez is in for Mullane?
Yeah, it looks like he's in for Mullane. It was nice at halftime when you were interviewing Jim May and your brother Pat. I went down and was talking with Jason Hernandez's parents here who are in town. They're here for 3 games from California.
Wow.
And interesting story of how he ended up at Canisius with Coach Tanky recruiting him all the way from California through the MLS Next program. I played on a team out there in Napa, and Coach Tanky liked what he saw and recruited Jason, and his parents are up here for this week, and we talked about they'll be back in the fall for some Canisius game. I think they're coming to town for the Canisius Niagara game.
And it's nice to hear that they follow us on the live stream all the way out in California. So thank you very much, Mr. Hernandez. And enjoy your stay here in Western New York. At least the weather is cooperating. They come here when it's snowing out.
Yeah, well, so. we talked about that, but we said, listen, at the end of the day, we said with heavy hearts, this is a pretty safe area. You could, look at what Texas is going through right now, and we're pretty shielded in this area from real severe weather. We get a blizzard here or there, which is inconvenient, I guess.
Well, when we get the blizzards, at least we get to stay inside and not do anything. In some of these other places, not so
here or there. Convenient.
At least anything. So, not so fortunate.
What's our old mayor Jimmy Griffin say? What should you do?
Get a 6-pack and stay home. Don't bother us. We don't want to come out. Good old Jimmy Griffin. I had the pleasure of interviewing him on the radio, and this was years ago when he was the mayor, of course. And I asked him, because he had problems with all the members of the Common Council. So I said, Mayor, I'm going to say a name, and I'm going to, just describe him. So, he would say Al Capola. Dumbest guy he would say that, dumbest guy in the Common Council. James Pitts, most negative guy. I mean, he had one for everybody. Good old Jimmy Griffin.
He was a character.
Yeah, he was. You need those guys. Buffalo loses the ball. Brandon Swan looks, shoots. Easy stop for Jack Petrie.
Tony, I was just a little too young really to understand that blizzard or experience it. So I never quite understood what snow could do. We lived through storms until just a couple years ago when we had that blizzard at Christmas time. And I was like, this is pretty bad.
Yeah, no. And I'm old enough to remember that blizzard of 77. And Jimmy Carter came here, the president at the time. Here comes Larry Knoll off a feed from Axel Lazoya. He crosses inside. Awkwardly kicked out by Atkins. Here comes Knoll again. He beats his man. Crosses it, and it's an own goal! Goal! goal!
Throw the ball in there and see what happens.
Keegan Herman might get credit for this goal. The young man from Wilson. Let's look at the replay if we can. The Ambassadors lose the ball. Nice play by Knoll to beat his man. He crosses it inside. It's an own goal. It's going to be Larry Knoll at the 48-minute mark.
Buffalo deserves that. You
Yep.
know, the way the Ambassadors got on the board, to see Buffalo come out and get one here quick like they did in the first half, now we just got to see them hunker down and get this to the finish line.
Keep the foot on the accelerator here. Don't fall back and play defense. Attack. What do you got to lose at this point, right?
Yeah, it's
Let's go after him. Swan to Akins, who crosses inside. Cleared out by Jason Hernandez, who just replaced Tom Mullane.
Andy's busy on the sideline.
What's he?
Trying to assign me a game tomorrow.
He's placing a bet.
He's assigning me a soccer game tomorrow.
Oh. Reese Utter to Akins. Taken out. That'll be a free kick for the Ambassadors. 2-1. Good start once again in the second half for the Buffalo Stallions.
You know, Tony, really, you look at this homestand and that Flower City game. I know it's 3-0, but
it could have been different.
It really could have been different.
Two plays that turned things around.
Yeah, that's a tight game. I mean, Buffalo has played very well on this homestand, and I hope for the coaching staff and these players that we can get this to the finish line.
Yep.
They deserve it.
Here's Swan. Looking for some help. Akins tries to cross it inside. Trujillo to Swan once again. Crossing to the middle. Met on a play by Herman. Hit up in the air by Jean Tilo. It'll be a throw-in for the Ambassadors. Chip inside. Riley Quinn hits it out. Loomis helps it a little bit further. And now Herman chasing after it with Brendan French, who hits it back to Gavin Hill. The Ambassadors with the ball. Good pressure on the play by Axel Lazoya. Lazoya crosses inside. Loomis with the shot, blocked by the defense. Here's a drive over the crossbar by Sam Lamondola.
That's an excellent ball into the middle, but Loomis has got to attack that ball.
Yep. Here's Lazoya. Does a nice job playing defense here. Cuts it back. Loomis shot is blocked. Goes back to Lamondola, who lets it rip, and it just went over the crossbar. The Ambassadors bringing it up the field. Herman playing defense against Brendan French. And now back to Gavin Hill. Jacob Irani. Back to Gavin Hill. Buffalo is pressing. Middle of the field. Reese Utter is wide open. Inside, long ball, but cut off by Jason Hernandez. Pass inside, hit out by Hernandez. Brandon Swan. To Trujillo. Trujillo marked by Sam Lamondola. Good defense by Lamondola. Akins. Back to Trujillo. Tries to pass inside. Swan. Chips it over the crossbar.
And through the uprights.
That's 3 points.
Well, I'll tell you what. The Alex Kademi and Sam Lamondola are playing so stout in there in the midfield. They're plugging every lane possible, so that the defense is compact, and anytime you think you might have something, those guys are in the lanes, and the Ambassadors are having trouble getting anything into that final third into the box.
Score is 2-1. They're calling for a handball, but referee Sakui Stewart says no dice.
Well, Alex Kademi just kind of, gave him a little
pep talk.
A little pep talk, but I think the pep talk was you got to get a little closer. I mean, he's.
Do you see some spots worn in the middle of the field?
Yeah, the center circle. NT's going to have to replace that soon. So well, you look at the pattern, right? And Tony, you look at this field. We got a football field, right? You got the hash marks, and he's not coming outside those hash marks.
No, I mean his diagonal is very limited, very tight diagonal.
To the 30, and inside those hash marks.
Here's a through ball long for nobody in particular to Jack Petrie. He might be using the Odenbach system. Mr. Al Odenbach.
We got a few referees who have adopted that, and they still think they're at their peak at 75 years old.
Al, who was my coach and one of the greatest guys, and one of the guy that we need to give credit to because he really was one of the principals that put soccer on the map here in Buffalo, along with Tony Simpkin and other people. But he was my coach with Germania for 7 years before I left to go to play for the Italians. But he also refereed. In the days when there was a one-man system, he basically stood at midfield, at center. He didn't come out of the center. Here's a ball for, but too far. The ball was for Alex Laberschmidt, but could not connect, and the ball went out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick.
How do you think that would work today, one-man system with our players?
Well, you might as well commit suicide because it's about what. All right, Buffalo has a goal kick. 56 minutes gone. Yep. We're lining up another interview for Andy on the sideline. Head ball. Brandon Swan with the ball. Swings it to his defender, James Disidoro. Foul against Buffalo. It'll be a free kick for the Ambassadors. Jordan Akins on the right side, being watched by Loomis. Good double team by Riley Quinn.
Yeah,
Buffalo gets throw-in.
We got a special guest coming on soon to
we say hello to Danielle Salasavage, one of the hard-working people here for the Buffalo Stallions. Here's Noel putting pressure on the defense, and it'll be a throw-in for Buffalo to the right of goalkeeper Gavin Hill. 57 minutes gone, 2-1, the Buffalo Stallions over the Ambassadors FC. The Ambassadors looking for playoffs, while Buffalo is looking to finish this inaugural season with a victory. We're lining up an interview downstairs. Here's Lazoya in the 18. He weaves his way in. Lazoya crosses it, and it's a goal! Keegan Herman off the rebound, and the Buffalo Stallions get this crowd going. It's 3-1. Keegan Herman with the first goal of the season.
And just as we had this plan, we got an interview
with his father. Here's Lazoya doing a nice job weaving his way through the defense. He crosses it. It goes off Gavin. And
All right. Well, we got an interview. We're ready. We got Andy Evenhouse on the
Go
sideline.
ahead, Andy. Take it away. Go ahead.
All right, we are down here with the one, the only Paul Herman, whose son just scored a goal.
Yeah, go figure. That's great, isn't it?
All right, we actually brought Paul down. He learned some CPR and some other training there, and he saved somebody's life there at the Wilson tournament.
Yeah, just a wild situation. I mean, the guy goes down on the field just for a normal JSL soccer game here locally. Quick reaction time with me and 3 other people. So the 4 of us, we ended up doing chest compressions. We had an AED on site. So yeah, the greatest story in the world, man. The guy goes from being in a really bad spot to, he's alive. He's here today to spend time with his 3 kids and his wife. So he says it too, Andrew. He goes, I got a second chance at life.
Yeah, and he's a local guy too.
Yeah, what are we, Southern Tier? So
Yeah,
I think he's a
Southern Tier.
Randolph guy.
Yeah.
So it's just, really cool, especially being Section C for Wilson.
Yeah.
He's a Section C guy, so, now we have forever ties, especially if we play each other in sectionals. So it's a good story,
All right.
it's a great story. So.
All right, Paul. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, but good to see you.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, guys.
Thank you,
All right,
Paul.
buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thanks,
Good to see you, man.
All right. Well, perfect timing. His father goes on a mic, and his son scores his first goal.
Tony, you would think we had this planned,
That was
right?
just unbelievable. Well, and he also, there was a substitution for Buffalo. Keegan Herman, who just scored a goal, is substituted by Johnny Pizzino. Larry Knoll is down. He took a knock, and but play goes on. Here's LaMondola to Jason Hernandez, who goes all the way back to Jack Petrie. And Larry Knoll is hobbling whether or not he's going to be able to continue to play. And, of course, his replacement, Douglas Shabui, is not available tonight. So Buffalo is kind of thin at forwards. Oh, Knoll almost intercepted that clearing by Gavin Hill. He would have had a wide open net.
Tony, you know how, as a coach, you measure a season. When you play a team twice, right, the second time you play them, you really get an idea where you're at. And you look at this right now, and you look at last time they played the Ambassadors, it was 5-0, correct?
I believe you're right.
5-0, and now you have them at home, and you're up 3-1. That's a 7-goal swing.
Nice overlap by Jason Hernandez, who crosses it. And a head ball! And the rebound, 2 great saves by Gavin Hill. Point blank. Gavin Hill made 2 miraculous stops right on the goal line.
There's a professional there, Alex Kademi. He wants that back, but
look at this replay, yeah.
He respects the goalie, goes over, shakes his hand.
Great overlap by Hernandez. Head ball by Kademi. Great save by Gavin Hill. The rebound goes back to Kademi. And Gavin Hill once again puts up a wall.
I mean, that wasn't shot at the goalie. He had to get his hands out
Yep.
there. I mean, you expect that to be in the back of the net.
Would have been a great goal. Here's Lazoya. Beats his man, but too far. It'll be, let's talk about Alex Lazoya, who's been playing at midfield. But tonight, I think this is by far his best game that he's played this year. And he's been playing up forward with Noel.
Well, didn't Coach Swan a couple weeks ago say that he's a player that he can use anywhere? And,
Yeah, he
in
did.
the back,
He
in the
did.
midfield, up top. So, and he said that's really a coach's dream, a player like that. And you're seeing that tonight. And Coach Spicone is tapping into that. He's a player that we can use on either end, in the middle. And he's going to do the job. And tonight he's having a really good game.
He's
Intercepts the ball there.
Yeah, he is controlling the ball, and he's just kind of dictating the play. And not only that, but in addition to making great passes, he's attacking. That last goal, he weaved his way through the defense, and I don't know what they were doing. The Ambassador, they were afraid to clip him for a PK, but he was able to take a shot, and it was.
I mean, Tony, you look at this game and you think, you go back to Loomis's heavy touch in the first half.
Here he is again. Lazoya pulled down. It's got to be a yellow card. Yep. Yellow card on number 39.
Well, the referee came
Jacob Irani.
Came over from another zip code.
He's going to have to, we might need a water break after that.
But you really look at the scoreboard. You think, okay, Loomis has got a heavy touch or a breakaway in the first half.
Two.
Yeah, and Knoll has a heavy touch in the first half. We get Kademi gets stopped on that one. I mean, you could have
been a 5-5, and the offside that wasn't.
Yeah,
called.
you could be at 5-0.
Yeah,
you could have a complete 10-goal swing.
Yeah.
But that's how you judge yourself as a coaching staff. Like, where were we a few weeks ago, a month ago, and where are we now?
Now, keep in mind that this team, the Ambassadors, are second place in this conference and looking to maybe finish first. I don't know if that's possible. We've got to look at the standings, but they're right up there. They're going to be one of the teams to challenge. Trujillo turns the ball. Looking for somebody to pass it to. A lot of standing around by the Ambassadors.
Yeah, they're gonna look
out
at
of
their
bounds
bench
at a throw-in for the Stallions. I don't know if they look. I mean, okay, so I'm looking at the sidelines here. What's with the cell phones and some of these kids? Here comes Buffalo once again. Pizzino keeps the ball in play. He turns. Once again, hits it back to Lamandola. To Jason Hernandez. To Lazoya. Lazoya with the shot. Way wide.
Ambitious.
He
saw Larry.
We have a substitution for.
He saw Larry Knoll do that in the first half, and he wanted to take a shot at it.
Desidorio comes out, number 17. For the Ambassadors go in, that would be number 17, Brian Kern. Brian Kern goes in, replacing James Desidorio.
Preval looks like a true professional holding that board up.
Yes, it looks like the board was made for him. Kern looks like he's moving up to the forward line.
Substitution now entering the game, number 17, Brian Kern. In for number 34, James Diazadoro.
It'll be a throw-in for the Ambassadors. Brandon Swan throws it in, but he tries to inch up that line, more than an inch. He took a yard or two. Throws it in. Good heel pass. Akins with the ball. Moves it up the field. Passes it to a teammate on the left side, being watched by Johnny Pizzino, who replaced Tom Mullane. Ambassadors with the ball. Skladany for Swan. Being watched by Loomis. Plays it back to his teammate Jordan Atkins. Buffalo tight on defense. Pizzino on the mark. Headed out by Riley Wagner. Jacob Irani with the ball. All the way to the left side. Thought he might have been offside, but that's not the case. Nice play by Riley. Headed out to Brandon Swan, who took a shot but went over the crossbar. 67 minutes gone. Another substitution for Buffalo. Yeah, like Loomis coming in out. And Jacob Cordy goes in. Jacob Cordy, fresh legs. Will fall into that midfield spot. Loomis has worked very hard today, and he had a couple of opportunities in the first half.
He did have a couple of opportunities, and I would have loved to see the young man get one.
Yep. Deserved one. Trujillo to his teammate, Jordan Akins. Watched by Cordy. To Skladany. Swings it to the left side. Brian Kern. Through ball, cut off by Hernandez. To the left side. Cross the inside the box. Gentilo is able to get it out. Here's Swan. He's going to shoot. Deflected. It'll be a corner kick for the Ambassadors. Buffalo can't get sloppy here, nor can they start playing defense. There's still lots of time left.
Yeah, there is a lot of time left. You gotta start nursing the clock and get this moving.
Here's the cross, headed out by Lamandola. Trujillo loses control. He's off. No, he's not offside. Oh, Jacob Cordy. I thought he was offside, but I looked back and I saw Riley Wagner sitting back there. Long ball for Pizzino. Tries to find Larry Noel, but to no avail. Here's Kern.
Tony, my question would be, do the coaching staff here, does Coach McCone, do they change the formation here? Do they go, 4-3-3 and maybe use 2 6s and, really kind of clog that middle up, or do you continue with what's been working? Because obviously the Ambassadors are going to go forward with more men.
Yep.
So how do you match that? And it looks like Coach
they definitely have 3 guys up now.
Coach Pompert are talking about that.
I mean, that was a push from behind. Here's Jacob Cordy. Tries to cut the corner. He's foul. No foul, he says. Thought he swept his foot.
Well, hang on. Let me see the binoculars. I'm going to find the referee.
Wait.
Hang on. Where is he? Oh.
All points bulletin.
Okay. APB. I found him. There he is.
All right.
Hang on.
All right.
I think he's in the center circle. There he is.
Here's Kern with the ball.
We got him.
Long ball for Mike Kane, who controls it deep in Buffalo's zone. Headed out by Buffalo. Here's the shot. Deflected. Corner kick. I thought he swept his foot. We have another substitution. Number 11, Mike Kane.
I think he did sweep his foot.
Number 28 going in for the Ambassadors. Matthew Espinal. Let's see where he takes his position at.
When you look at that, Tony, I mean, we're looking at that from up here. We got a good look at it. When you get the angle that referee today had, he's in the middle of the field, and you're never gonna, whether it is or isn't. You're just not gonna see it.
Doesn't have a good angle.
No.
There's a lot of pushing in that box. Here's a corner, delivered. And here comes Buffalo. Lazoya. Not able to get to it, but it'll be a throw-in for Buffalo.
There are things in this game that you don't get credit for, but that ball comes out, and Gianni Pizzino works hard to get to that ball at the top of the box. Otherwise, that's getting ripped right back in there.
Yep. Jason Hernandez to Johnny Pizzino. Turns it back, loses to Trujillo. The Ambassadors with the ball. Here comes Kern. Gentilo stops, but they get the ball back. Riley Wagner, and now Riley Quinn hits it out. Jacob Irani to Espinal, who just went in for Mike Kane. Swan. Thought he's going to go long, but went short. Right through the defense. He turns, he shoots.
I'll tell you,
It went out of bounds. Alex Dapperschmidt turned and shot, and he was by himself. He might have had a little more time.
I think what I would start considering if I was coach going, I would think
playing the Hungarian defense with 5 back.
I got to look at and think here if you bring in J.P. Barone, bring Noel out shortly, bring in J.P. Barone, slide Alex back into the midfield, or Axel Lozoya, and
here's Noel to Cordy. He shoots, and it's stopped by the defense. Here's another shot by Pizzino over the crossbar. Nice passes by Buffalo. Here's Larry Noel, who lumbers after that ball, cuts it back. Cordy, point blank. The shot was stopped by the defense. A second shot stopped again. Back to Pizzino, who blasts it over the crossbar. It'll be a throw-in for the Ambassadors. Espinal throws it in. Long. Headed out by Gentilo. Cordy challenges and gets that ball. Brandon Swan. Seriously? I mean, see, this is the thing. I mean, they're looking for a foul. The referee doesn't give it, and they stop. And then finally he gives it because, well, he just did.
he just did.
Lozoya knocked off the ball. What was that? All right, I guess he held him. The Ambassadors get the ball back. Trujillo with the ball, looking for a teammate. Riley Quinn misplays it. Espinal goes inside the 18, tries to cross, blocked by Riley Quinn. Cordy, double teams. The shot and a goal. It is a goal for the Ambassadors. Innocent looking play, and now we got a problem inside. That was just sloppy defense by Buffalo. Just sloppy defense.
Yeah, it's not.
There's a cross inside, wide open. They allow him to put the ball from his chest to his foot. And Matthew Skladany at the 75-minute mark scores. This is reminds me of the other night, that a goal that they scored with a guy on the far side was wide open.
Yep.
And he was between Riley Wagner and Jason Hernandez, and pretty much deja vu all over again. And we're able to put one in. We have a substitution, or he didn't have any shin guards. What's the deal here?
Yeah, we got a substitution.
Number 6. Going in for Trujillo. Trujillo is out, and number 6, Omar Nahar.
We got Buffalo's got a sub here too.
And Buffalo, let's see, who goes in?
Chris Griffiths.
Griffiths goes in for La Mandola? No, for Academy. 2-0, or make that 3-2. Pardon me. I was thinking of something else. Here comes Jacob Cordy. Pushes it too far. Fortunately for Buffalo, Akins was able to knock the ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Buffalo. Now, why not pass that ball to the right side, who's wide open?
Yeah.
Jason Hernandez.
It ends up getting there, but by that time, the Ambassadors have shifted.
Yep. Pizzino gets the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Buffalo ball. Coming up on 78 minutes gone, 3-2. The Buffalo Stallions leading the Ambassadors FC of Ohio. Wide pass for Riley Quinn. Knocked out of bounds by Akins. Throwing for Buffalo. Larry Noel allows his man to get in front of him. Ambassadors off to the race. Dappelschmidt inside. Gets it to Kern. Kern looking for help. Puts the ball through to a teammate on the left side. Being watched by Hernandez. And it's a penalty shot. It's a penalty shot. Alex. Jason Hernandez took the man down. Let's look at the replay. Now, here, hold on. Let me hold up my score. There was an 8. There was an 8. There was an 8.
Looks like we might have made a little contact, but it certainly looks like a lot of embellishment. He was looking to buy one, and I hate to say it, Tony, when you got a referee who's been living in the midfield all day, sometimes you get someone to bite on those.
The lineup, Skladany, waiting for the referee's whistle. Skladany approaches it. The shot, and it's in, and it's a 3-3 tie. Matthew Skladany off a PK, and this game all of a sudden at the 80th minute mark is all tied up at 3. One more look at this, the replay. We're looking for the PK. It is a 3-3 score. After leading by the score of 3-1, and just like that, this game is all tied. Throw-in for the Ambassadors. That's unfortunate.
Tony, it's like you had the wind just sucked right out of your sails. Yep. I mean, it's
handball. He did call that one. What did Hank Bullock say? The old Bills coach. He was, I don't think English was his first language. And he says he put sails out of my wind. He said in the press conference. Oh, Lord. Throw-in for Buffalo. 81 minutes in, 3-3 score. Well, Buffalo had their chances. Throw-in once again for Buffalo. Riley Quinn to Lazoya, to Jacob Cordy, to La Mandola, but the Ambassadors get the ball back. Brendan French back to his goalkeeper, Gavin Hill. French again with the ball. Being watched by Pizzino. Nice heel ball, 2 heel ball, but good stop by Jason Hernandez. Buffalo goes all the way back. Griffiths tried the head ball, but too far away from him. Need to control this ball. You can't be playing kickball. We can see how dangerous the Ambassadors are. They're one of the leading scorers as far as goal scoring in the league. Here's Skladany, who has 2 goals already, being marked by Jason Hernandez. Hernandez just a couple of seconds ago fouled him and got a PK, and Skladany was able to score. Nice play by Cordy. Pass it. Wrong guy. Should have passed it to
yeah, he needed to get the head up a little sooner and see Noel.
Here's Lazoya, cuts it back inside. Wide for Pizzino. He's got some room. Here's the shot over the crossbar. This is what I'm talking about. With that just one extra look.
Yeah, that ball to Noel would have been nice.
Here's look at the replay. That should have been a little bit sooner.
With that, or
But
if you
Cordy should have passed it to Noel quicker.
But if you decide to take that touch, I prefer he takes a guy one-on-one and play for the foul. You beat him.
Yeah. Agree. It'll be a throw-in for the Ambassadors. Reese Utter will throw it in. 83 minutes gone in a game that Buffalo was leading 8 minutes ago, and now we're all tied up again. McConnery is going into the game for Riley Quinn. Jake McConnery in for Riley Quinn. He'll go in at left back. Buffalo's ball, foul. They're not happy with that call, but Buffalo will take it. Referee tells him to put the ball 3 yards back, and now he pushes it 2 yards forward. Does it really matter at midfield? Riley Wagner chips it inside the box. Cordy goes after it. Good pressure by Jacob Cordy to Axel Lazoya to Lamondola. Lamondola, neat footwork. And they're off to the races for the good tackle. Jason Hernandez could have made, what are we standing around for? Now they got numbers. Kern with the ball on the left side, being watched by Riley Wagner. He cuts it inside, but it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, Buffalo's getting
Buffalo's got to be a little, communicate a little bit better there.
Yeah, we're getting sloppy in the midfield, and I think, I look at Coach Lacone. I think he's trying to get everybody in today. It's our last home game. Anybody who's on the roster.
Looks like Dan Fiegel is going to make his first.
No, Tony. Whitaker Sackman.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that.
Fiegel must have been unavailable tonight.
All right. Whitaker Sackman. All right.
I
Good
think
for him.
Whitaker is, if I remember correctly, maybe a Newport product.
Okay.
I think might have played down at Pitt Bradford.
Foul at midfield against the Stallion. As we await another substitution for Buffalo. Nice play by Chris Griffiths to Jacob Cordy. Back to McConnery, and now to Petrie, to Gentilo. Up to Cordy, to Larry Knoll. Through ball for Axel Lazoya. Back to Knoll. Pizzino's wide open on the right. He passes it off to him. Just too far, a little bit too strong. That looked promising, but just a
sure
little
did.
bit too far. Somebody in the
I hear a little background noise from Steve Sabo in there.
He says a Kenmore West pass. Is that what you teach him to make those passes?
Well, it sounds like I'm at Niagara Wheatfield.
Uh-oh.
Looking to beat them for the 10th time in 5 years.
Oh, no.
No, that's just a joke.
Here
Coulter runs a fine program.
Here comes the Ambassadors' defense. Head ball over the crossbar, fortunately for the Stallions.
Yeah, what do you got?
Alex Dapperschmidt with the cross, head ball. And Whitaker Sackman goes in to replace Jack Petrie, who's had a great season. All right, we're going to go to the sideline. Go ahead, Andy. What do you got? Andy?
All set, Andy.
All right, we got a score in from Flower City out in Rochester. They defeated Syracuse this evening 4-0. So
Shocking.
Ambassadors make the playoffs, but they'll have to settle for second place here in the Golden State Division.
All right, can you go tell their team so that they can take their foot off the accelerator? Good. All right, thanks, Andy.
Thank you,
You
Andy.
got it.
All right, there you got Andy Evenhouse, the pride of Lancaster. Fortunately for me, I live in Lancaster. As soon as he moved, the prices of real estate went up.
Where did he move?
Hopefully someplace far. In cheek to Vegas. Oh, no. Bad pass by the Stallions. Oh, that's got to be a yellow card. Yep. Jake McCannery, who lost the ball, had to get back and play defense, and he is booked for his efforts. He had to do that. Otherwise, they were off to the races. So,
well, unfortunately for the Ambassadors, if this result stays and it's a tie, they're going to end up getting 1 point. They'll be at 20. That means they will have to go on the road to Rochester.
That's going to be a tough
for
game.
the playoff game.
Yep.
For a playoff. So, so they need a win here. So, otherwise they're on the
Brandon
road.
Swan, waiting for the referee's whistle. 89 minutes gone. Buffalo playing defense. Good job by Axel Lazoya. Marking his man, double up on a play by Jacob Cordy. It'll be Ambassador's ball. As we look at the fourth official to look up, hold up the board. Looks like we got 1 minute maybe. I got another substitution for Buffalo. 6 minutes? Or no, what does he got?
Looks like 5.
No, maybe he's got the substitutions. That's the board for the substitutions, maybe? Headed out, Buffalo.
Oh, that's going to be our
Larry Knoll
5 minutes.
hits it out, but Ambassadors get the ball back. Buffalo couldn't clear it out, and it goes to the Ambassadors. Chips at far side. There's a head ball over the crossbar. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of extra time.
There will be 5 minutes of extra time added to the end of the half.
Omar Najad put the ball inside, but it was headed out. Larry Knoll comes out.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a
J.P. Barone.
You know, Coach Spicone and Coach Pomper, a class act. They've made sure anyone who came here tonight to play has gotten into this game, and you have to respect that.
At least let's hope that they are rewarded for their hard work tonight, even if it is a tie. Although, let's not forget that they were winning 3-1. The Buffalo is calling for out of bounds, but the referee says no.
Seems like a theme on that sideline.
McCannery with the ball to Lazoya on the left side. Lazoya.
Oh, he's held up there.
And held on a play, and
hang on, let me see where the referee called that one from. Hang on.
I think for
where was that call, Tony? Was that on the sideline?
Hold on, let me look. From zip code 14072, which I believe it's Grand Island.
Oh, I think that's where Andy lives now.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's on Grand Island. I think they wanted to put him on an island.
Did you put down the time? 5 minutes. Gentilo deep inside. Cordy heads it back, but to nobody in particular. Here's Buffalo with the ball. Cordy. That was a shot that
I'd say
reached the parking lot.
We're around 3 minutes left, Tony.
3 minutes to go. Can the Buffalo Stallions keep this 3-3 score or get one more on their own? Riley Wagner could not clear it out. He does now. Well, these guys got to get back. I mean, there was no reason for them to be this far off. They were on the other side of the midfield. Good job by Buffalo. Lamondola tips it to Swan. Buffalo trying to play defense. There's a shot. What a stop. Whitaker Sackman with a great stop. That one was labeled for the top corner.
That was labeled for the top corner.
Left-footed bomb.
As they say, where mama hides the
cookies. Alex Dapperschmidt with a blast. And Whitaker Sackman moving to his right.
We got the goalie in from
Corner
Ambassadors
kick.
all the way down.
And it's a goal! Now we got a problem inside the box. But off a corner kick. The Ambassadors come back from a 3-1 score. What do we have here?
Tony, the sales are down now.
Yep. Reese Utter. Reese Utter at the probably 93-minute mark off a head ball of a corner kick from Brandon Swan. And now it's a yellow card to Buffalo, Jake McCannery. Looks like Buffalo is just going to overload this left side, and the ball's going to go to Riley Wagner, who's just going to fire it down the field. Let's see. He's got a red card out. Somebody's got a red card? Well, yeah, that's his second yellow. He had a yellow on the foul when he lost the ball, and he just got a second one. So Jake McHenry has a red card.
Tony, here's what I'm going to say on that. I mean, the assistant referee is at this point where it's 4-3. You got about a minute left. It doesn't seem like there was really.
You're looking for trouble in that situation. Better at times. The game is over. There's no reason for you to even get involved.
Just
if you're the ref,
adding,
separate them and let them go. But
adding insult to injury at this point.
Buffalo puts the ball into play. Jacob Cordy. Here's Lazoya. Chips it inside the box. Jean Tilo is inside the box. Tilo turns the corner. Side of bounds over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Ambassadors. Look like the Ambassadors have a traveling fan club here tonight.
Yeah, they got a few people in the crowd, but might be at a loss for words right now. Tony.
Yeah. It's honestly, I didn't expect this result. Buffalo played extremely well. And here's the whistle. The game is over. The Ambassadors crawl back from a 3-1 score to defeat the Buffalo Stallions by the score of 4-3 on a late goal by Reese Utter at the 93rd minute mark. And the season is over for these Buffalo Stallions. Meanwhile, the Ambassadors will carry on into the playoffs in this great conference, Great Lakes Conference.
It's a tough spot for the Buffalo coaching staff. This homestand had a lot of promise. This game had a lot of promise, and now you got to pick up the pieces and figure out where it went wrong tonight. But they're right there. They're right there with the top teams in the league, and. You got to get in the locker room, and you got to come away with the positive of your coaching staff.
Yep. Well, these are some of the growing pains that an expansion franchise has. But Shane, as we discuss the season in general, we must admit that this team has done a great job in putting this franchise together. And as we mentioned earlier, they really worked hard to put a great product on the field, and they did. And they also did a great job in putting fans in the seats, and they also accomplished that. So it speaks well for the future. And from this point forward, things look on the up and up for this team.
Hey, Tony, your first year is always going to be tough. Anytime you got a new team, an expansion organization, it's always going to be tough. And they, to me, the product on the field improved every game. They're competing with the top teams in the league. And like you said, Tony, you look at the stands, it's filled with fans.
Yeah.
It's filled with kids. It's they're having your brother Pat here and Jim May tonight. It's bringing back that love for the Stallions that this city has. So a credit to the organization and what they're doing. And unfortunately, you gotta take this result into the off season with you. But it's the coaches are gonna make this a positive. And thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Take care. Mr. Hernandez heading out.
Take care.
All the way from California.
And he would have liked to have seen his son go out on a high note.
Well,
but
his son almost got an assist on the beautiful save by the Ambassadors goalkeeper. Gavin Hill had a beautiful save on Alex Kademi that it just wasn't meant to be at that moment. But
we're waiting for Andy to come up here, and we want to get his point of view and thank him for being here this year and gracing us with his presence.
It's always good. And he's moving to his new house on Grand Island.
Yes.
With referee Sequoia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But so Buffalo finishes the season with 3 victories. And, again, here's the goal that they scored at the 93rd minute mark. Wide open, utter, inside. Nobody picked them up. And leads to their 4th goal, 4-3. Yeah. So
you look at the crew down there. I mean, they're just
disheartened.
They're disheartened tonight.
Andy, how did you see it from the sideline?
Well, they put the new keeper in, and he just made a great save just prior to that, and just wasn't ready there for the.
Well, he
the
was
rebound.
left wide open. So if anything, I'm not going to put the blame on the goalkeeper, but there's in a situation like that when you're playing defense off a corner kick, you should be at least challenging. But nobody challenged the utter, and he was wide open, and just
got over his hand. You're still coming in cold though, so you're not going to be ready for that.
Yeah, well,
especially after just making that big save that he made.
I don't believe that was the winning goal, but that's not where Buffalo lost the game. I think they lost the game a little bit, probably 10 minutes before.
Well, I mean, when you talk to the coaching staff, you'd have to ask, like, when you look, hindsight's 20/20, but do you make some adjustments to match that? Ambassadors are pushing guys forward. Do you have to make your in-game adjustments and with what they did with their substitutions? Were there other things that you would have wanted to do?
And the other thing, too, that it might be a case, and I don't want to make excuses, but I think at the end, maybe the last 10, 15 minutes, they started getting sloppy. They were giving the ball away, deep in our own, in Buffalo's zone. And they were, obviously, this team is not in second place because they're good looking. They got there because they play soccer, and they took the opportunity and were able to capitalize. And subsequently, we have a 4-3 loss for the Buffalo Stallions.
Well, do you think, Andy, they make all the substitutions they did? Like it looks like Coach made an effort to get everybody in the game tonight.
I was just going to say the same thing. He just emptied the bench. He tried to get everybody some minutes. I had heard that was the keeper's first action of the year.
Yeah, it was.
So you've got to give everybody a chance. It's the last home game. It doesn't really matter. But
Well, I mean, I think it's good from an experience standpoint because some of these guys now are going to have this, a few minutes on their legs, and next year when they come back, they're going to be. They're not going to be strangers to this league, and they know what they have to do to prepare, and they know what to do, what they can expect. So from that standpoint, I think it's going to be good for them. On the other hand, I think Buffalo will have better players because the word's going to get around that this is a legitimate team and a franchise, and they're going to want to come and play.
Well, I was talking to Paul Herman, and he had said that Keegan had missed a few weeks prior. He had prior engagements. He had high school things. So there's one player that you're going to have back. He'll be going to Damon in the fall. So you look at who's going to be coming back, and again, as you say, you get a little time. You get 15 minutes is better than having no minutes in.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a respectful organization. They treat their players fair. They give everybody a shot. It's the last home game. Andy, you're right. It doesn't matter in the standings, but where it matters is in the culture of the program. And I think when you create a culture for these players that's respectful, that word spreads. Coach Spagone's an excellent coach. Coach Pomperett. It's an excellent organization that I think when that spreads, Tony's right. You're going to get more players interested, and you're going to see the roster improve.
Yeah, well, and there's no question because if you're a player in the league and you want to come to this team, which is a big commitment because they do a lot of traveling in Ohio and Rochester, Syracuse. But now that they see that the product is good, there's people in the stands, nice to play in front of a lot of people, and they're going to it almost recruit the recruits come themselves. They recruit themselves, always. So I believe that this franchise is going to enjoy much success in the future, and I was happy to have been part of it. I thank you guys for being part of it, Andy, Shane. It was great, and if they'll have us, we'll come back next year and do it all again, and next year maybe we can call a few more victories.
Yeah, Tony, I appreciate you including me in on this. I obviously have been friends with Tony and Andy for a long time, so to be able to do something like this is certainly a lot of fun, and to do it for an organization as classy as this is, it feels good to be able to do it.
Just think about it. Like 40 years ago when we first met, what did I tell you? I told you to get off the field.
Yeah.
In fact, this guy was my partner.
You guys were refereeing that game.
We were referee. So, quick story. Shane was coaching at Orchard Park, the JV team. For that game, Orchard Park, their varsity coach was out, so you filled in. And at halftime, I think there was a play and a goal, and I don't know if we called a foul. I don't remember all the particulars, but you came out and ran across the field and told me what you expected, and I told you what I could expect from you. Well, so that was how we first met.
Listen, 30 years later, I don't think it was 40. 30 years later, I will say this. You were closer than Sequoia Stewart was on most of the plays tonight. So you were certainly closer than he was in this action. But the NT is going to have to replace that center circle tonight.
Yeah, that's burned out. Well, I just want to, before we say goodnight here, I just want to say thank you to Joel and Kyle and Spencer, our technical directors here, for doing a great job. So thank you, Spencer. Tonight it was his opportunity to shine, and he did a great job. And once again, I thank the Buffalo Stallions organization for having us, Shane Majerus, Andy Evenhouse. Until the next time, hopefully next year, this is Tony Ukiro from North Tonawanda. Have yourself a great night. Spencer, great job, buddy.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Appreciate it.